r/askreddit. What's a very common thing that you just can't relate to?
Being quiet late at night when your parents are asleep. My parents are deaf.
Born on full blast for you whenever you want. No shame. What a life.
I'm an office worker. I like my job and co-workers.
Preoccupation with lives of celebrities. Why? Why do people read about it or want to know what someone did today?
For me, it's royalty. And particularly the fact that Americans are obsessed over them. Fucking what sense does that make? Hey, the very notion of royalty is obscene. Get rid of it. Running a brush through my hair. I have very curly hair, so only finger brush it when it's wet, which isn't often. Seeing people grab a brush and run it through their hair when they've been in the wind, or just to freshen up. I wish.
I have to brush it in the shower because it's just too curly and thick to do anything with. My sister, whose hair like her father's and would never understand the struggle, grabbed a round hairbrush one day and thought it would be funny to put it in my hair. It got stuck and I just sat there and cried. Another time when I was really young, my aunt, who was my father's whiter half-sister, decided to put little tiny buns all over my head with newspaper elastics that ended up getting stuck and ripping out my hair. I really bled because of it.
Ouch. My dad is who I got my curls from, and so he knew to brush from the tips to the roots, whereas my mom didn't and would try getting a brush through from root to tip. I once had a hairdresser brush my hair while it was dry, and I was holding back tears the whole time. I was too shy to say anything. Then there was always kids at school wanting to straighten it.
Social media. I use it, but I never post photos or update people on everything I do.
That's why I like Reddit so much. Stuff like that isn't really a thing here. You just talk to people about what you like.
I don't really consider Reddit social media. It's more of a forum.
I went to a Big Ten college. I swear everyone was having the time of their life but me. I couldn't wait to graduate.
Me too. I couldn't afford a football ticket and didn't major in anything I couldn't have at a school closer to home. Oh well.
Exactly. I was so indoctrinated on the big college experience, it was a letdown. And an expensive one at that. It felt like 4 constant years of showing up to a party too late.
Loving and wanting to spend time with your family. Had a terrible, awful childhood as an adult, just lots of toxic interactions whenever anyone from my family got involved in my life. So all cut off in my life, so all cut off. When I see people posting about their family and how much they love them, I just don't understand it. I don't understand my fiancé missing his mom, etc. I know I'm the anomaly, but just can't relate in any way.
That's similar to my family, and we can barely stand each other. I have a friend who has a good home life who can't understand why I don't like my parents and tries to encourage me to be closer with them. Hanging out in loud, crowded places. Give me a place where you can actually have a conversation and elbow room.
I like large parties. They're so intimate. At small parties, there isn't any privacy. F. Scott Fitzgerald, The Great Gatsby.
Daisy, F. Scott Fitzgerald, The Great Gatsby.
Speakerphone in public. I barely even want to take a normal call anywhere in public with a whispered tone.
God, my dad used to do it all the time, and I would absolutely burn inside.
A friend of mine can do even better. He puts the call on loud and holds the speaker up to his ear.
People taking out loans for their wedding expenses. One of the #1 reasons people get a divorce is money. No better way to start off your marriage than in debt, I guess.
Being able to do a normal amount of housework/errands and still have plenty of energy left for hobbies. I have a DHD, ETA. Wow, it's reassuring how many people, both with a DHD, HD, age and other chronic conditions, relate to this. But, please slow down on the comments a bit. I'm very overwhelmed, Arn. I feel ya. I hyper-focused on cleaning yesterday because my dog has been shedding like nuts and I've been constantly inhaling fur. Took me about 4 hours. Then I laid on the couch for about 8 hours and watched a bunch of Star Wars movies cause my gas tank was at 100% empty. /
We just lived the same day. Keeping up with the Joneses. I don't give a crap how nice or shiny your things are or mine aren't. I'd rather have money in the bank than a new car every year. My car is 6 years old and works fine and still looks nice. Why would I trade it in just to keep up? Same with phones, clothes, computer, even stuff from my helmet set. I like mine, and I get good quality stuff so it lasts.
You're acting like a 6-year car is old. I do agree with the rest of your comment, though.
Having what is considered a normal social life. I have the social desires of a sim. Sometimes my bar gets low and I need some interaction, but once my bar is full, I can go without for a while.
My Sims were always tired after work and would get up late at night when nobody wanted to hang out, so they stayed alone. That's more realistic than I'd like to admit.
Hating your wife? At least it's common where I live. My wife is amazing and we make each other better. I remember when I got married how concerning it was that a crazy number of people say now you can be miserable like the rest of us. As a joke, it's such a terrible thing to say, especially to someone who got engaged.
Angry sex and make-up sex, yeah? What? No, if I'm mad at you, I don't want you to effing touch me. I don't have angry sex. I have angry abstinence. I never got this either. My anger is just anger, and the last thing I want is sex or intimacy. I could barely be in the same home with someone I'm mad at, let alone in bed with them.
My wife and I fight here and now. Let's settle this, you asshole. We do not let things fester. There is only angry abstinence. But it lasts maximum 3 hours, and then we're affectionate again. I am blessed.
Some couples, apparently, have fights that lead to month-long dry spells slathered in resentment. I couldn't live like that.
Watching sport. I've got nothing against it, I just don't care. Oh man, you guys are lucky. I wish I just didn't care. But there's something in me that gets so drawn to the competitiveness and the thrills and excitement. Do you know how much time I could save not caring about sports?
Time enjoyed is not time wasted, man. Enjoy sports.
Having dreams and aspirations, I never thought I'd get to be an adult, so I never had dreams. By the way, thanks for the awards, guys. I've never gotten so many, so I appreciate all of you. I never doubted that I'd live long enough to see adulthood, but I've never had any ambition or dreams or aspirations. I know people who knew what they wanted at the age of 14 and got there. I've tried forcing it or faking it to help affect change to no avail. It's frustrating as hell and feeds my mental health issues, or causes them.
Taking and sharing pictures of everything, except for when I'm traveling. I take maybe 20 pics a year.
Watching streamers. I don't really enjoy watching other people play games for long stretches of time. I also don't really like watching sports either. I guess I just don't feel the same excitement some people do for this stuff.
Same. I've only watched maybe a couple of minutes of streaming when it's a new game that I haven't gotten yet just so I can check it out before committing. But yeah, I don't really care for streaming or esports.
No elbows on the table. Excuse the crap out of me for trying to be comfortable.
This is mostly so that servers can place and remove dishes. Yeah, we don't eat in restaurants all the time, but unlike a lot of polite social habits, there's a reason for this one.
Servers shouldn't be trying to reach into the danger zone while my elbows are propping me up, and I'm neck deep in cheeseburgers.
Smoking. Nearly everyone in my family and all my friends smoke.
I remember growing up saying that I'd never try it and being told, yeah, that's what everyone says. Well, it's true for me, and I've never even been tempted.
If you don't grow up/hang out around smokers, it's honestly kind of hard to just pick it up unless you actually want to. Especially nowadays, since smoking cigarettes isn't as common. Nobody smoked in my family, so I never viewed it as a normal thing to do. I always viewed smoking as a bad and kind of pointless habit, because that's what I was taught, I guess. It's kind of sad that the people who told you that had that attitude, as if becoming a smoker is unavoidable.
Not voicing your discomfort in certain situations. Too often I see that things could be solved if someone just spoke up, but it baffles me when they don't.
I have bad social anxiety and don't like to rock the boat. It's like a physical pain, even thinking about speaking up in some situations because I don't want to make anyone feel bad, even if it makes me feel bad.
Thinking that being a D is funny.
People who think being an asshole is funny, I think, just crave any attention they can get. I have an uncle who's an outside, but deep down is really caring. But to me, it just seems like he never learned how to express his emotions and feels he's protecting himself by being in butt.
Same thing with my good friend. He's an only child and his parents make good money and stuff, but there's definitely a factor missing that they should have given him. He's great to me, but I noticed he lies and stuff for attention. He also acts like a D sometimes. I see through it, but I also think he's trying to look tough.
Big, expensive weddings.
Best thing about 2020 for me is that we didn't have a BEPS 25-act wedding, but instead had a 500 wedding with just us and our parents.
Sharing your whole intimate life on Facebook/TikTok/Instagram/etc. It's just gross.
A coworker of mine posts no less than 3 hours worth of video onto his Snapchat daily. Every single meal he cooks and eats, every single time he feeds his turtles, every single time he feeds his turtles, every single walk he takes with his dog. It's insanity.
The word daddy used sexually?
I have been calling my father Daddy for 30 years, and even just calling him Dad feels so weird. Now I really have to find a new name for him.
As a father, when the kids stopped saying daddy and started saying dad, it was a sad moment of realizing that they are growing up. I couldn't even fathom hearing it from anyone in the other connotation.
Wanting to settle down by 30.
In Asian families, not being married and having kids by 30 is like blasphemy. If old Asian grandmas were in charge of the law, they would make it a punishable offense. Fortunately, the traditional views of family is dying out with the newer generations. Now people are encouraged to set themselves in life before diving headfirst into starting a family.
Having a car payment. I've never actually had one. I always just buy a cheap car outright. Constantly saving a little bit for the next car is similar to a car payment. But if I miss a month, it doesn't really impact me or cause me stress.
It's funny. I feel the opposite way. My dad always preached that it was better to buy the cheap car outright and not have a payment. But then his cars were always broken down. So it just feels like he did have a payment. He just had no idea how much it was or when it would be due. And when it was always inconvenient.
Yeah, this was my dad's mentality. Why pay for quality when you can just pay for quantity? Cheap cars, cheap clothes, cheap appliances, etc., etc. Even if over a 10-year period he saved money, the amount of inconvenience and outright inefficiency was hardly worth it.
Restaurants that force their staff to act, sing, or engage in fake banter. Just make my food, please, and leave the theater to the thespians.
To be fair, though, some of them are probably actual thespians that need to be servers as a second job.
Reality TV shows. What the hell is the appeal of a Chrisley or Jersey Shore?
I think the point is to feel superior to the subjects of the show.
Can confirm. My mum and I love talking crap about people on TV, as if we didn't just smoke a joint together 5 minutes before.